you ready? Are you ready? Oh, monkey butt. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's used to have a problem. Monday, problems abound plenty. Problems are everywhere. Problems are just falling from the ceiling, crawling up from the ground, hitting us from the sides. They are everywhere. The market, for some reason, was like, you know what? We're okay. Even though tariffs are now in full effect, and it's likely Trump's going to levy even more tariffs on Brazil, which has caused coffee prices to shoot through the roof recently. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I assume that most of you are, since most human beings are coffee drinkers. And you're noticing that prices have gone up like 60-70% in the last couple of months on coffee. And this is largely because Trump decided to hit Brazil with oppressive tariffs because Brazil is going after Jair Bolsonaro. This thing keeps folding up weird, bothering me. Jair Bolsonaro for being basically a criminal asshole when he was president of Brazil. And he's like, how dare you try to harm my friend? And so he hit Brazil with a whole bunch of tariffs. Brazil has, we have a trade surplus with Brazil, meaning we sell them more stuff than we buy from them. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something like they buy $30 billion from us, we sell them $37 billion in things. So we make money off of Brazil, according to Trump's misconception of how trade deficits work. So his using tariffs has nothing to do with fair trade, free trade, trade deficits, anything like that. It's just that he's trying to punish Brazil for going after one of his criminal cronies. And today, the Brazilian Supreme Court issued an arrest warrant for Jair Bolsonaro. And my guess is Trump is going to put even more tariffs on him because that's the only thing he understands is like tariffing things. So you're going to spend more money buying coffee, whether it's Folgers, Starbucks, whatever, as a result of Trump being mad that his friend got arrested. You are spending more money on coffee because Trump is mad that his buddy got arrested. That's it. We're going to absolutely nuke a major nation's trade status with us because Trump is really mad that his criminal buddy is arrested. So, nothing happened with BBBY over the weekend. Everyone was all hoping, look at that code, be like, oh, shit's going to happen. Nothing happened. I'll be honest, things in IBKR and E-Trade look weird with the bonds. The bonds are doing weird things in there, but no payouts have happened. Some of the folks analyzing and they use AI to do all this stuff, and AI tells them things, and then, it never comes true. But the AI is telling them the payments will probably be between the 5th and the 15th. So that's tomorrow to 10 days after tomorrow. Others are like, no, the lawsuits have to finish before these payouts happen. Not for the bonds. If the bonds are going to be equity, right? You got $1,000 in bonds and you get 30-something shares in equity. No lawsuits can be finished for that. You just all of a sudden get shares, and that's it. So I'm not entirely sure what the holdup is. So yeah, that's where we are on that. Anything else to add, Monkey? No? You're just gonna sit there and be a cute little sleeper? Okay. Well, let's do the thing with a thing. Do the thing. Bam. Bam. Okay. Oh, dude. Well, I almost didn't turn it off. There we go. Okay. Well, that's got to be on live chat over there. I still don't know why. Oh, shit. That's not what I want to do at all. I still don't know why I don't get the the Twitch chat anymore. I used to get the Twitch chat, and now it doesn't show up, and I have no idea what changed. Oh, well, whatever. Okay, Brandon Wells was first. He's want to know what's up with BBBY. Nothing as far as I can see. I also want to know with Nolabs. Nolabs apparently approved the 750 million share dilution, which means 750 million shares sold at pennies, which means all of your shares, if you still have them, are going to be essentially worthless. They'll be so worthless to the point that they're going to have to do a reverse split to be able to maintain on the exchange. And then, after that might be a time to buy in. I don't know. But just file the FDA paperwork. That's all you have to do. Is you file the paperwork, you get approval, and then boom, you're golden. That's it. That's all I have to do. Just do that. Brennan Wells, this is the only drama-free space to get BBY news. Thank you. Man, how much drama going over here? I mean, most of the drama people don't watch me anymore because I or the mods have probably blocked them from the chat. But yeah, there's a lot of drama llama stuff going on over the BBBY side. The way I see it is if my buying $3,000 worth of bankrupt shares in BBBY pays off, it pays off. There's nothing I can do to change that one way or the other. I think it's going to pay off because it appears to me that the estate has way more money than obligations, and there's signs that there's a very tempting nulls and ways to become a reverse SPAC and do all that stuff. So I think it's going to pay off, and I was willing to gamble $3,000 on that because $3,000 is what you can declare for losses on a year, and I'm okay with that. I made my gamble, I made my bet, I did my thing. What I don't understand is the cult of personality that some folks who jumped into this want to either follow or become. That makes sense? Like Bill Pulte. I get it. Bill Pulte knows Ryan Cohen. They got a thing going on. But Bill Pulte is in general kind of a piece of shit. He is. I mean, he used his sort of internet philanthropy thing he was doing to sort of like draw a huge following of people who are desperate or greedy. That's basically the folks who are like, oh my God, he might give me $100. Oh, and he then seemed to jump into the BBBY movement. And I think his ultimate plan was to get us all to turn Pulte Homes into a meme stock and buy it up like crazy. And then he could use us as voters to do a proxy fight to take control of Pulte Homes. That's how I kind of saw the whole thing. And when I was at that thing in Florida, it was a boring ass party. Like, I mean, I thought we were going to like have a social time, like meet and greet, hang out, shake hands, meet people, kind of have like a, hey, we're all in this thing together thing. And it felt much more like a campaign stop infused with Coors in a hot dog truck and a porta potty. And not, I don't know, it was not a $500 a person party, that's for sure. And then to discover that what he did was he wanted everyone to sign a contract. He was going to buy them all shares in Pulte Home, right? And then he wanted to sign a contract that he would control our votes in the future. And I was like, this seems really sketchy. And then he becomes the head of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and he is bad at his job. He spends all of his time trying to convince Jerome Powell to either reduce interest rates or quit or get fired. And that's because he saw the numbers of Pulte Home come out in Q2, right? Revenue is like in half. Pulte Homes right now is spending something ridiculous, like $57,000 a home on marketing and incentives to get a home sold. That's bonkers. You're starting to see across, especially like the Southeast and Southwest, where a lot of people retire, it's hot and whatever. The homes aren't selling. So now you're getting lots of these like quick deal owner finance stuff happening. This all happened in 2008 as well. Where they're like, hey, if you've got a 600 credit score and $500 down, you can buy this house at a 5.6% interest rate. And then some house out in the middle of nowhere that they can't sell because it was built by, D.H. Horton, Pulte Homes, etc. So they see the writing on the wall. There's a 12-month supply of new homes currently on the market. 12-month supply. That has not happened since 08, 09. And I just because someone might throw a few bucks your way, I don't see. I don't know. I guess your sale price is really low in order to like forego any ethics, conscience, empathy. Like I told you, I'm for sale. For $50, I'll put your little doohickey up here. Not very many people do it. Zach's been up here for quite a while. But if you want me to like pretend that I believe what you believe and that and I will sell my soul to you, it's got to be a lot more than a couple $1,000s. I'll tell you that much. You need to put me into a luxurious retirement. Otherwise, fuck it. When I was when I was first approached about making a TV show, so this is 2012, 2013, for geology, right? I talked to a couple production people, whatever, and I happened to be at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, and my friend's family owns the Saloon Number 10, which is the saloon in Deadwood where Walter Hickok got shot in the back of the head by Jack McCall. You know, it's famous. It's a cool bar, you know, whatever. And we're in there and we're chit chatting, and there's a TV show about the Full Throttle Saloon, and they came in to film, so we had to like sign these little waivers while they're filming. And I met a lady who worked on the show, and I was just chit chatting with her like between their takes. And I told her, yeah, I got approached by a couple of production companies about making a geology show, and they kind of want to make a reality show, but I want to do more of like a science adventure show. And she's like, don't do it. It's fucking ruined my life. I was like, well, explain. And she told this story about how there's a season where at the end of the season, she's like, first of all, she's like, none of it is real. It's all scripted. Everything is scripted. They plot things and you just sort of follow the script and everything. And there's a part at the end of the first season where she is accused of stealing like $8,000 out of the petty cash or till or whatever. I don't know. I watched the show, and it gets resolved at the start of the next season. But that entire summer, her husband got fired from his job. Her kids are getting attacked by like their neighbors because they all thought she was a thief, right? Because she's using her real name. They all know it's all small town. Everyone knows everybody. And she's being accused of being an actual thief. She's like, no, it's a show. It's fake. And they're like, no, you're a thief. And they basically got ridiculed and harassed and everything else. And then because they pissed off everybody because she's a thief, none of her neighbors watched the second season to find out that it was all a misunderstanding and whatever. And she's not a thief. So she's like, my life is ruined. I can't get a job anywhere else. All I can do is this show because everyone thinks I'm a thief. And she's like, it's not worth it. Like, they don't pay enough to make the change to who you are worthwhile. People don't realize that I'm playing a role. I'm not like, Charlize Theron playing the character of the Atomic Blonde. Like, she's not Charlize Theron playing Charlize Theron. This lady was playing herself, but it was fake. And the first time we got a deal in front of us to do a show was from a pretty big production company, Half Yard Productions, I think that's what they're called. And we had negotiations about the show is going to be blah, blah, blah. And we finally like, hey, let's do this. And the day they gave us the deal, they wanted me to change the show from this like cool science geology adventure show into the Big Bang Theory, but in real life. So they wanted my friends and I to basically pretend like we're autistic nerds and strike out with women all day long. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, well, don't you care about the money? I'm like, not really. No. Like, this show is it's a terrible idea. So it's going to fail miserably. But then I'm going to get pegged as this person I'm not for the rest of my life, and I won't be able to get jobs or do it. Like, it will stigmatize me. So no, it's not. Whatever you want me to do is not worth it. I don't want to do that. And they're like, oh, you said you're never gonna do anything with your life. Like, okay, well, if it's not that, if it's that you want me to do, then I will gladly not do anything with my life. So you have to look at it like, is making $10,000 off a shit coin worth selling your soul? Is, filleting a guy online who talks about raping people's wives because you might throw a few bucks your way to buy some shares of stock worth your soul? It's not. It's not. I've said time and again, I would gladly give up every investment I have for Trump not to be in office, just to be gone. Take it all. I'll start over. Because that's what's better for everyone. If the only way I can make a living is to be a monster to good people, then I don't want to do that. Because it's not worth it. I would rather be broke and not have good people hate me. So, like, I don't know, the drama llama is just, it's too much, man. It's too much. And all the people with the drama llama, like, they would never be my friends outside of this. Like, I wouldn't voluntarily be like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with that guy. No, he's kind of a piece of shit. No, I'm not going to hang out with him. I don't care if what we have in common is an investment in a stock. Who gives a crap? Like, I don't care. My soul, my personal identity are worth way more than pretending to, like, swallow the platitudes of assholes. So, if we are invested in the correct thing, if we're invested in the correct thing, then who gives a shit what any of these guys think? Right? They're not my boss. I'm not working for them day in, day out. I don't have to, like, swallow their stupid jokes or pretend like what they said isn't actually absolutely horrible. No, who gives a crap? Because if we're in the right play, I'm my own goddamn boss at the end of it. So who gives a shit what these guys say? You want to pay people off and make it rain a few $100 here and there and make it pretend like, oh, I'm actually a helpful person. I'm going to rape your wife. I don't know. There's a lot of folks. I mean, pretty early on, we've T-shirts in the store that I can't manage to somehow link to YouTube, and it really pisses me off. Where, be stronger than your lizard brain. I talked about that early on. I did a show with what was that guy's name? Boston, Alfred Boston, and the show went really well. Like, I think it was on his channel, and we had things in common. We had both had classes with the same professor at Harvard, and we chit chatted, and it was very congenial, and we talked about AMC and GameStop and all this stuff. And a few days later, it was revealed that he was basically a predator towards a bunch of women, especially women in the movement, and he was being really uncomfortable with them. Pressure them, send nudes, sending dick pics, things like that. And it doesn't sit well with me. So I did basically an entire show about how don't do that. It's not hard to not be a piece of shit. It's really easy. I don't understand why something so simple is so difficult for so many. I really don't. I don't get it. Like, it's not that hard to just not be a piece of shit to people. It's the easiest thing in the entire world. You don't need to sexually harass every woman you come across. It's pretty easy to not do that. To just treat them like a human being. If you want to get laid, you can get laid. You can. It's not that difficult. You figure out where on the social stratus you are, and then you find somebody who has your interests and thinks you're cool. That's it. That's all you do. And you just don't be a giant, horrible monster to them. I don't get it. I see every day people just being gross. Really, especially in this movement, just being racist, being sexist, being homophobic, being like doing all these things that are just gross. And I don't need that in my life. So I'll gladly do without it. And my viewership numbers, because I don't like the gross people being in here, they're lower than they were 4 years ago or whatever. I don't care. I do this show because I like doing the show, and that's it. So I wish I was still doing the charity shows, but YouTube can't figure that crap out, and that really bummed me out. And I don't know how much longer I'll do this if I can't do the charity shows. I'll be honest. So, uh, it's I don't know, just be better. Like, if your lizard brain is like, "Nah," just ignore that part. Be strong. Like, are you not stronger than your most basal urges? Can you not overcome the fact that, like, you want to just stick your penis in things all the time? It's not that hard to just don't. Anyway, if we do get filthy rich off of this, I think there's going to be a whole bunch of people in this movement who are going to try and create their own little Epstein Islands. That's what I feel. And I hope that those folks quickly burn through everything and lose it all. Because it seems evident to me that there's a lot of cluster B personality disorders who will get suddenly flushed with a lot of cash and think that they're gods amongst their communities, and they're going to be really, really, really rotten. And I hope that all of you who would take newfound wealth like that would instead help their family, help their friends, help their community, do things with that money that you wish, rich people actually would do with it, rather than, scroll it offshore and then have little Lolita Expresses and stuff like that. So be better. That's my thing. So yeah, Brandon, we spent 20 minutes on the first question of the day. Rosie Productions was second. Colin says second, but nope, you were third. Lisa saw. Nolabs approved dilution, 750 million shares against the market at some point. Yep. Zuma got to do with Nub. Fourth, you're fifth. Lisa saw. American Eagle outfits are not made in America. What a surprise. How long until tariffs hit them where it hurts? Oh, it's hitting them already. Basically, everyone has been hit with tariffs. Unless you make things in Russia or North Korea. I think those are the only two nations that don't have tariffs on them are Russia and North Korea. Yeah, I mean, prices at Walmart, Amazon, Target, Costco, they're all going up because the cost of bringing things in this country is going up. So, inflation, here we come. Yay! Fred Jones, fifth. No, you're sixth. Chris Taylor, hi, not first, but in the game. You are. Lisa El Salvador amended the Constitution to allow unlimited re-election, but Kelly can be president for life. Yep, because that's what autocrats do. Just because the dude's really into Bitcoin doesn't mean he's some sort of freedom lover, libertarian, democracy now type person. No, he's an autocrat just like everybody else. And he's just doing it with a different hobby, I guess, than regular cash. He's doing it with Bitcoin. Snort alert. Oh, Houston. Garrett was a metal detector brand that you recommended a year ago. Thanks. Yeah, Garrett, White's, Lobo, Mind Lab. Those 4 detector companies are pretty good. I can't remember if it was White's or Garrett that went out of business recently. It is... Yeah, White's is one went out of business. That's a bummer because they made some really nice consumer grade metal detectors. So Garrett, if you want like not a super expensive metal detector, pretty good one, yeah, go with Garrett's, go with Lobo. If you want to go with pulse induction, which are like the kick-ass metal detectors, you're gonna have to get a Mind Lab. You can get some pulse inductors from China. They're basically carbon copies of the Mind Lab 4500. But the problem is that they stole a whole bunch of the designs for it, but the designs did not include what's called ground balancing. So when you get a metal detector, there's electromagnetic interference all over the place, and you might go to like a field to go metal detect something, and there's electrical wires, and it will mess up your readings. And so there's a computer program and a chipset inside a metal detector that helps you figure out what those frequencies are and cancel them out so that you can get some like noise-free readings as you go along and do your metal detecting. So one of the Mind Lab executives or engineers went to China or Singapore, I can't remember which one it is, for some sort of business conference or business meeting. And his hotel room was broken into and his laptop was accessed, and they stole the latest designs off that laptop and started making knockoffs that are much cheaper. And the knockoffs are part for part, piece for piece, designed on the motherboard exactly the same as the Minelab detector, except the ground balancing had not been added into the design. So these metal detectors, while being very powerful, don't have the ability to counteract, solar radiation, radiation from electrical power lines, from, magnetic fields, etc. So they actually don't work very well. So if you see like a pulse induction for really cheap on Alibaba or Temu or whatever, it's not going to actually work very well. So you're going to have to either spend the money and buy a used Minelab or spend the money and buy a new one, and they can get very expensive. The difference in quality, so like you get a Garrett, some sort of gold detector from Garrett. It'll find you like little nuggets and little pieces of gold, but it can only do about, I don't know, a foot into the ground, and they have to be pretty decent size. A Minelab pulse induction can look 3 feet or more into the ground and find you a grain-sized piece of gold. So they're very powerful. And you're going to spend used probably a couple $1,000s, new $7,000 to $10,000 for the latest models. I had a 3500 which came out in the early 2000s, and it was great. And I used it for years, and I ended up selling it now, and I regret selling it. I wish I still had it. The technology hasn't improved that much. It's kind of refined a little bit on like differentiating different metals, but for the most part, the same power has been there for the last 20 years. So if you find an old 3500, it's pretty much just as good as the 7500 or 8500, whatever they have now is the latest. But yeah, but if you're a hobbyist and you just get into it, Garrett is a great way to go. You can do things with them. You can like go into like riverbeds and find where the metal gets laid down. So because of the currents, you'll have areas where magnetite is more common than others, and you can like wave them around in the water and find out where those spots are. That's a great spot to go looking for gold. You can do all sorts of cool things with them. Where was I? And I'm off. Nothing ever happens. Not surprised. Yep. Murph Studios. Hey, Big H. Was able to watch the first new episode of King of the Hill. First 2 new episodes of King of the Hill last night. Pretty great so far. If you could revive one television show to make new episodes, which would you pick? There's a whole bunch I would really love to do. There's a bunch of shows that I thought were marvelous and then just disappeared after a season I was really upset about. Like Terriers. Terriers was a really great detective show. Filmed on location in San Diego. Amazing show. And it was canceled after 1 season. G versus E was another one that was really good. Canceled after 1 season. I loved Community. I wish people would go to community college forever for that show. News Radio. Oh man, I miss News Radio. Firefly was another one that never should have been canceled. There's a couple of shows like Netflix did a really terrible job marketing shows when they first started doing live television. They marketed the hell out of House of Cards, but then you never heard about any other shows they did for a while. It's like a year ago, they're like, hey, why don't you watch Teenage Bounty Hunters? And I was like, sure, whatever. And that show was wonderful. It was smart. It was clever. It was funny. Like, it was really well written. And then it leaves you on a cliffhanger and find out they never made a second season. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And they did it to me again. There was a show they made in cooperation with some Australian television channel about Lone Pine, which is the listing station in Australia. It's an American military base, like NSA military base, and it's run on Australian soil. And it's had all these like, cool plot lines and everything. And like they like, hey, you really like this show. And I watched it, discover that it had been canceled like 6 years earlier after the first season. I'm like, why do you keep doing this to me? Get me all invested. And I get like 10 episodes in to find out that you never made another one, and you left me on a cliffhanger. It's like, right? She just sleeps, she doesn't care. But, yeah, are there any others that I would do? I'll probably think of more. Next time I turn on TV, I'll be like, that one. Barrel. I'm off. Even tariffs let me down. We climbed again and still climbing. Yeah, I don't understand it. And 9, hype day after hype date. And 9, also Elmo gets billions from Tesla and it rises. Yeah, apparently the Tesla board voted to give Elon all his money without ever consulting any of the shareholders. And so now there's like already a lawsuit being filed against it, apparently, because the shareholders like, no, you can't do that without our approval. I don't know why Tesla would give Elmo billions, because Tesla is fading. Sales are way down. It's never going to recoup. The trust thermocline is broken on Tesla. And as long as Elon has anything to do with it, they're toast. How bizarre, right? My puts went kaput. Kirk Wilson, Houston. Robinhood options. Why volume under the bid and ask fluctuates high volume, yet the actual volume to the left of open interest sometimes says 0 or 1. Example, AMKR, 23 put, 919. I don't know. I have no idea why that would be. You might have to ask a broker at Robinhood, be like, hey, what's up? Because it may just maybe a glitch. I don't know. I can't tell you. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, HW. Trump increases tariffs in Canada 35% because remember, we apparently have a fentanyl crisis. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I don't know if you saw that 100 pounds of cocaine was seized by the Canadian government after trying to cross from the United States into Canada. More drugs go into Canada from the United States than come from Canada into the United States. So we are Canada's source for illicit drugs. Also, we pissed off the Canadians so much they won't come here for holiday. They won't buy our products in the store. And a whole bunch of distillers in Kentucky are now filing for bankruptcy because the Canadians were a huge part of their business, and Canadians won't buy American booze anymore. So, just a bunch of folks voting for Trump who's just out there killing their businesses because, you know, I voted to be racist, not poor. And you're going to get both at this point. Kelly Reed, 469, thanks for the update on BBBY White. I know you've done it because we're really hitting rock bottom on GME here for a good place to hang out because everyone else sucks and super pressing. First Day Productions. With my BBBY money, I'm investing in food trucks, specialty in chicken. I'm setting up Chick-fil-A and calling my trucks side chicks. First Day Productions, happy birthday, man. The Minnesota Twins traded away their entire starting team except for our center fielder. Yeah. You guys weren't that far out of the wild card, and they just traded everyone away. They just went, meh. I can't imagine why you would do that. Like, people are like, oh, they set themselves up for a sale. You're just waiting for a sale. You don't want to sell a garbage product to somebody. Like, hey, I've got the worst product in all of the entire industry. Want to buy it? No, you want to sell something good to everybody. Like, this is really good. Do you want to buy it? It's like when an office building like doesn't renew leases on anybody and they try to sell the empty building, and the real estate person's like, but I have no revenue. Why would I buy this? Doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, you guys got totally screwed over by ownership. Twins ownership is garbage, which is pretty amazing because according to NFL players, the best ownership in sports are the Vikings. Who, if you go to the Vikings, you have like the best setup in the entire world as a player, and everyone's super happy there. But the Twins, I don't think that quite rubbed off. Like, one of the guys they traded is a St. Paul native whose wife and family come to every single game, and they just like traded him away. Like, oh well, such is life. Danny Motes, Houston, happy birthday. Can you explain how Beyond is tied to GME? Will Beyond go up, you think? Beyond is not tied to GME at all. There's potential that GME with their cash could buy all of Beyond and just buy them outright and have everything. But as far as I know, there's nothing like that going on. They are not connected in any way, as far as I know. So, I do think GME is connected to BBBY, which is what Bed Bath & Beyond was. But I don't think they're connected to the current Bed Bath & Beyond, which is owned by the former Overstock. And then it became Beyond. Jews Miami, Fox News is going full Sydney Sweeney, but not a peep about the Epstein files. Yeah, I really don't understand the Sydney Sweeney thing. The first I heard of it apparently was like a week after her ad came out, where some dude tagged me and he was like, I bet you would think this is Nazi. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And so apparently the right has made up this whole thing about how people on the left hate Sydney Sweeney. Um, Pretty sure Sydney Sweeney was in like Handmaid's Tale, White Lotus. Like she's, I don't know why they're like grabbing onto her as if she's like some sort of, um, I don't know, idol to them. They put up on a pedestal. I don't get it. She's got big boobs. Okay, cool. She does modeling. She does acting. Word. I don't really understand the obsession. I don't know. Whatever. She's not my type. She's not my type. But good for them, I guess. I don't know. Get the read. Crystal ball. What are you predicting going into 2026? Full blown economic collapse. High unemployment rates. Dwindling exports. Rate cuts into the recession, causing stagflation, rising prices, weakening dollar, and Trump consolidating power around everything. That's what I predict. Ding ding dong. Is this the second Gilded Age? They're trying to, but they want to gild. You want to gild something, monkey? You want to be a gilded dog? Should I get you some like Baroque gold foil bandanas? Would that work for you? We could do like a Greco-Roman revival, or like, yeah. No, I'm serious. We could do that. We could do a Art Nouveau. We do like a whole Art Nouveau puppy dog project. You want to do one of those, where we do like fractalization representations of like phytoplankton and zooplankton on a large scale? Would that work for you? And then we can enact prohibition and start a speakeasy and become bootleggers. Boom. Economy collapses. And then when the economy collapses, we double down. Right? And pass the Smoot-Hawley Act to put tariffs on everything. And so we go from recession into depression. That's what we could do. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because tariffs are fucking stupid. Bex. Hey, Houston. Happy birthday. All my brain power has been tied up the last few weeks. Can you elaborate like I'm 5 what I should know about BBBY if I held shares? Hopium. So, well, last week when they found the code for that OTC swap, it seems to imply... Cat scratching the door. 1 sec. You dumb cat. Get in here. Come on. Get in here and bother me. Okay. It seemed to imply that the people who hold shares were to receive cash, and the folks that hold bonds would receive shares in GME. And as some sort of weird counterparty to it was Amazon stock. The trigger date looked like it was Friday, although we didn't see anything happen with any of that. Supposedly, if there is a trigger that happens, don't be a jerk. If there's a trigger that happens, that it might take, 15 days or so for it to go through. Fine, I'll give you drugs. Just leave me alone. There you go. Eat up. We'll see if it happens. I mean, if it happens, it happens. It's cool. But I really could not figure out where the code was from. When they finally said, oh, you look for the code here, like, it's not there anymore. Then I'm like, well, I don't know. I kind of I had hopium in it and like half invested in that, what that code said. But at the same time, also like, anyone could have written that in Notepad and said they found it. Yogi 2012. Looks like Nebraska is having a tough time without the immigrant workforce. Yeah. Nebraska has sort of become a ghost town because a huge portion of the population were immigrant farm workers and their families, right? And they all left. Meaning dairy farms don't have aren't able to get their cows milked. Crops weren't getting planted, and they're not getting harvested. Weeding's not happening. Like the number of bankruptcies for small farms have gone through the roof. Absolutely gone through the roof in the past few months. We had more farm bankruptcies in the first 6 months than we did in all of last year. These Nebraska farmers, I've seen interviews with some of them, and they're like, well, we didn't expect them to come after our immigrants. It's like, oh my God. You don't get to be selectively racist, dude. Like, just because you voted for Trump doesn't mean he's going to protect your immigrants, right? He's going to go after all of them because he's an asshole. And that's what they do. So, farms all over the place. I mean, you go to, like, orange and melon country, right? Go to Florida, Homestead, Florida, and all the melons just rotting in the field because all the farm pickers aren't showing up. They're not showing up. Dude, quit trying to climb this thing. Eat your drugs. Can you do that for me? I'm going to deport you if you don't. I am. I'm going to deport you. Deport you to hell, little kitty. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just come here. There we go. Just be right here, and then you can't climb that thing and ruin everything, right? So, they just stop. You're getting what you voted for, man. You voted for this. Like that guy, the Montana Knives dude, who was all over the internet this weekend. And originally he was like, I'm fine with tariffs because I make my shit in America. And then he realizes that all of his steel comes from Sweden and all of his knife machines come from Germany. And he's paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars more for everything. He's like, this is going to bury me. Dude, like not only do all your raw materials and equipment come from overseas, but you now don't have a market for outside the United States because no one's going to buy American products. So your market is only the United States. So there's no hope for growth, right? You're not going to grow. There's 8 billion people on Earth and there's 300 million Americans. Which one has a larger potential for growth for your company? It's not the 300 million. It's where the 8 billion people reside. And that's why you're seeing companies like Honda and Nissan close their plants. Because fuck the American market. We've got 8 billion people who need to buy cars, right? We'll just focus on that. Hyundai built a huge plant in Alabama where they would build cars for U.S. domestic production. And then they would also export cars from there to other markets. 14 cars. That's how many cars they managed to export between April and last month. 14. They used to export something like 6,000 a month. 14. Cat, stop being a monster. Just go to sleep. Go to sleep. I'm gonna rub your face off. Your face can rub off on the floor if you don't go to sleep. 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 Go in your hole. Go in your little hole. Go in your little hole. Go in your hole. Nope. Don't keep things around. Go in your hole. Go to sleep. Yeah, turn around. You want more drugs? You ate all your drugs. Do you need more? Jeez, my knees, man. Yeah, that's it. All your drugs right there. Eat it. It's in the pile. Eat it right there. Are you gonna bite me? Kitty. Okay, so I don't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, Montana Knives guy, moron. And I read another thing about this guy. It was like last year's like, I'm voting for Trump because I'm owning the libs. And then last month he tweeted, my shoe business is done because of the tariffs. Like, he had a domestic manufacturer of shoes, and his raw materials came from overseas, and he's out of business. Done. That's it. Oh well. That's what he voted for, man. Not a moth. Oops, not a moth. He just vanished. Oh crap. Bill Coyne, I totally missed your super chat. 1,000 apologies. Spit on the U.S. flag. Take my coffee away, and it's World War III. Yeah. Yeah. Don't mess with the man's coffee. That's for sure. Okay, did that one. There's an Anomoth. Okay, so with crystal ball, Maxwell gets pardoned, or is she going to fall out of the first floor window? She ranks up there with the lady that killed Selena. She won't last on the outside. I think there's probably a few options. One, She gets no deals whatsoever, ends up in prison forever, and then thrown away in a hole. I don't think that one's very likely anymore since they moved her to basically Club Fed. There's not even a fence where she is right now. There's no fence. Like it's like you can wander around out there in a suburb of Houston, Texas. And she shouldn't be there because they're not allowed to have registered sex offenders at a facility like that. So they already like bent some rules to get her in there. If she is commuted or pardoned, my guess is she fucks off to France or wherever she has a home, right? And the French government arrests her for similar crimes because she did this stuff all over the world. She was a pilot. She recruited girls from Europe. She recruited them from all over. So I think she'll face that. Or she finds herself like defenestrated out a window. And I think those are probably the options at this point. She's very much selling her story for the commutation or pardon. She will gladly name. They were said that she gave 100 names to Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, who is actually Trump's former personal lawyer. And my guess is like, you give me a bunch of names that aren't Trump, and we'll be cool. Stop it. Stop. You have all your drugs. You're basically boofing your drugs right now with your little butthole stamping on top of them. So stop. It's like you come in here and you bother me, or you scratch at the door like a freakazoid and scream. Like, what is it? Why can't you just go to sleep? You've been sleeping all day. Why can't you go to sleep right now? That's right. You got catnip all over your butthole. Anyway, she's going to be like, oh, Trump had nothing to do with this. And then she's going to lie because he had lots to do with it. I mean, they had a calendar girls competition where really it was just Jeffrey and Donald and a whole bunch of girls being like, what the fuck? We've got Trump on tape admitting that he would go into the dressing rooms of his beauty pageants just so he could be crude and lewd at the girls. We have Trump admitting on tape that he sexually assaults women. We've got lawsuits that demonstrated that he sexually assaulted women. We've got 20-something accusers, women and children, saying that he raped and sexually assaulted them. Right? He was best friends for 18 years with Jeffrey Epstein. They did everything together. And you know what? Jeffrey Epstein doesn't golf, so what the hell were they doing together? Diddling kids is what they were doing. So yeah, dude, yeah. Just made me. DNUT GoPro, where are the folks pumping this? And it's gone. Dev Verm, long-time lurker here. I'm pretty sure they closed Kipu Falls due to an injury. I had a great time there in 2010, but it was fenced when I got back to 2017. Oh no! Really? That's the place where my ex-girlfriend ditched me. Like cool waterfall with the water swings, with the rope swings and stuff. Well, that's a bummer. Well, I guess you won't be able to go there, but maybe you can. I don't know. Look it up. See if it's still in the guidebooks. I would go swimming on the Wailuku River all the time in Hilo. We'd jump off the cliffs and have a great time there. And it was dangerous. You could get flash floods and wash you down, disappear. There were lava tubes that went underground and spit you out in the ocean dead. So you really had to know where to go and not go too deep into any of the ponds there. But basically the guidebooks were like, go past the sign that says dangerous, no swimming for some really great swimming. And that's what we did. So yeah. D33 Rock. Coffee is going up. Well, time to start doing cocaine instead. Joke. That's too expensive. I'm going to just snort pixie sticks instead. ECB. Dump says everything will be fine. 6 months. Don't tell Pariah Cohen. Different line. Did you see that NASA is supposed to announce a nuclear reactor on the moon? NASA can do a nuclear reactor on the moon. I don't know which. I saw the headline, but I did not see any detail at all. My guess is they're probably going for a cold fusion reactor of some kind to take advantage of helium-3 on the moon, which is a great place to run the experiments. because it's a lot cheaper to send someone there and have them run and everything than it is to like transport the material back and forth until you have like a guaranteed way of doing this fusion process. The problem is that basically the only ship that's truly capable of getting that stuff there, New Glenn, is not ready yet, and Starship is just going to keep blowing up because it's a giant piece of crap. So I don't know what they're going to use to go set up moon bases, but it's not going to be Starship, that's for sure. Christopher Monastersky, ooh, the big old super chat. No question, just appreciation of you being a solid dude in a world full of monsters who had the rare ability to get me to keep tuning in for the past few years for the stories, updates, rants, double intros. Stay golden, Houston. Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Right, Katie? I'm gonna bite my nose. Yes, you are. And you just totally slimed my glasses, so now there's a kitty drool smear across my lens here. Yeah, you're a monster. But thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Geez, Mammy, ice cream truck. I don't even know what that means. Rich, Blackstone will buy those Pulte shacks. They will. They'll buy them all up. Someone sent me a video once. It might have been Iggy of a guy doing inspections at a Pulte Homes development. And, this is the home inspector. He's like, I go to these developments, I do inspections for the buyers, and they're all garbage. And now, as a result, I'll pop onto YouTube, and there'll be all these different home inspectors doing inspections on new homes. And they're so bad. Like, load-bearing trusses and beams, not on a column of any kind. The dude, one of them that came across my feed yesterday was a guy at a Pulte Homes development. 2 houses, one right next to the other, both had giant gas leaks, and he had to call the gas company to come in and shut it all off and find the leaks. These are homes that aren't even in yet. Like, they're not, no one's bought them, and they already have gas leaks going. It's like, quality construction is terrible. So if you're gonna get new construction, definitely get an inspection. If you're gonna buy a house in general, always get an inspection done. It will save you so much time, energy, money. I know, like, when the market's hot, sellers can sell homes without inspections, and people regret everything because I need to get it before someone else does. But in 2010, my best friends were looking for a house because the market's in the dumps. They had some cash, so, like, we can get a house at these prices. And so looking all over West Seattle, and they found one that was really cool. It was a little 2-bedroom, had a really great, like, extra building that could be used as a shop and all that stuff. And they're loving it. The price was right, and they paid $400. Had the inspector come out, and the inspector, when he was done, was like, "No." So what happened was the house basically burned to the ground, and what he found was that the 4x4s and 6x6s that the house sits on and footings had burnt down to the point where they were maybe an inch across. And they just drywalled over all the fire damage and presented it as if it was a nice new house, when, like, the 2x4s that made the framing had all been burnt to a crisp, and basically just drywall was holding the house up. So yeah, getting it then, spending $400 on inspection basically saved my friends like $250,000 because that's how much they would pay for the house, and they ended up buying a different house. And so yeah, get the inspections done. Get the inspection from a very anal retentive type A personality person. They will go through everything and they will tell you everything. And then that gives you the ability to negotiate, because that inspection can now be shared with other buyers, and you might be able to get in for much cheaper. You might be, okay, this roof has to get replaced, this truss has to be fixed, this bathroom has to be done, this leak has to be done, this concrete needs to be leveled, etc. And that's going to cost me this much, this much, this much, this much. So we're going to take, X amount off the price, and you're going to give me a screaming deal for it. And the buyer really has, especially in this market, has no option but to agree. Around that same time, my brother and his wife were looking for investment property. Like, property's cheap. Bainbridge is a great place to go buy property. Houston, can you meet with a realtor for us and go look at houses? And if you find one that's good, we'll buy it. And I came across this house. This is like 2010, 2011 in there. And there's a house that was fairly new. It was built in 2005. So at this point, it's 5-6 years old. Over 3,000 square feet, 5 acres, 3-car garage. It had previously sold for $800,000 and was currently in the market for like $400,000. And I looked at it and I was like, ooh, this is really good, except there's one problem. An alder tree from the backyard had fallen on the roof above the master bedroom, cracked the roof, and there was a leak. Well, damage like that you can't get a loan for, because the home inspector goes, "That's damage," and they will not give you a loan for it. So I told my brother and his wife, I was like, if you offer them, just lowball the crap out of them with cash for like 150, 200, the bank who's desperately trying to sell this thing will take it. You don't have to, and they had the money at the time. Like you don't have to be like other people and go for a loan. You can get this place $15,000 in repairs later. You got yourself $1 million piece of property. And they like hemmed and hawed, and I don't know, and they didn't buy it. Someone else bought it, I think, for $225. Let's see. It might pop up here. Let me look and find it real quick. Zillow.com. I bet I can find it. Okay, we'll do 98110. That's my zip code. There it is. There's Bainbridge Island. Okay, let's go. It's on Fletcher Bay Road, right after the bend. Map. Give me satellite. I operate much better with satellite. Okay. Is it? Nope, not that one. Not that one. Where are you? Is that it? 6. That might be it. It's now valued at 1.5 million. Okay. Scene. I gotta go to Chrome. Come on. Chrome, turn that on. Zillow. Oh, I'm on rentals, not rentals. I want price for sale or sold or whatever. So yeah, 1.5 million. I think this is the place. Let's see here. Got any pictures? No, but it's like down this hill. It's on 5 acres. Do they have history here? Here we go. So 2015 sold for $757,000. Show more. Show it all to me. Here we go. All right. 2004, the lot was sold for $86,000. 2010, listed for $650. Listed for $599, listed for $525, listed for $499, $499, sold at $385. Okay, so it sold at $385 and is currently appraised at $1.5 million. So whoever went in there and bought it, I bet they bought it for cash, offering $385, knowing that it would cost about $15,000 to fix that roof, and they got a screaming deal. So it was sold again in 2015 for $757. So 4 years later, they made 100% profit. Man, they should have bought that place. Goodness gracious, that was like the one that got away. 5 acres on Bainbridge is a big deal. That's a good chunk of property. I would totally clear back those trees though, because you don't want them to blow over and hit your roof again. But well, such is life. Okay. But anyway, yeah, Blackstone's gonna buy everything. I don't know about Houston. Since nothing has happened, can you say who told you who won? We won months ago. Spill the beans. I can't yet. When it all goes through, I'll say it. Or if it is apparent that nothing happens, I will definitely say who it is. You do see messages from them from time to time. But yeah, I will, if nothing happens, I will definitely reveal, and I'll be pissed as hell. If something does happen, I will also reveal, and then we'll be happy and pat them on the back. How about that? Cat, your feet are in the way. Jay Geyser, movie Life of Chuck, Mia Sara and Tom Hiddleston, Mark Hamill and others from Ensemble Fall of House or Usher, opening act with Chiwetel Ejiofor, Matthew Lillard, and Karen Gillian. 5 stars, great movie. Life of Chuck. I think I saw ads for it, or like a trailer for it. It's like about a kid or something, might be autistic or something like that. I think I've seen that. Olga Notowski, what I miss? Payout coming? You got me. Just says next week, Olga. Always next week. Okay, another week. Oh god, I just heard getting flush with cash, making an own Epstein Island, wild stuff. Yeah. Robert Pierpoint, I have White's MXT with upgrade 10-inch double decoil. It's pretty good. Yeah, the White's MXT, those ones were solid null detectors. It's a bummer that they went out of business. You think they would have been doing great during COVID because people all this time on their hands to explore their hobbies. But c'est la vie. Sincere, I think I've heard every Houston story there is to be heard. I don't know how many more I got left at this point. Not the Latina big booty stories. Oh, there's some of those too. Oh shoot, it's time for me to get going. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a show. See what happens. Right, you fat turd. Right. Yeah. Guy. Okay. You guys have a great day. Monkey's gonna have a great day. Cat's gonna have a great day. I'm gonna have a great day. You better have a great day too. So, bam.